Girl, you got some tea?
Girl, with the honey and the sugar.
Nah, we gonna need some wine for this one.
Well, wine me, please.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. We are back and we are entering into series 3, respectability politics. So welcome back to the Wine Me Please podcast. Y'all already know we gotta do first before we start running our mouths. Okay, let's get into the wine of the episode. So here I have the Scarlet Path. Here you go. It is a 2021 old wine Zinfandel. Okay, notes of jam, blueberry, black pepper, cherry, plum, and licorice. You like licorice?
I don't.
It don't matter. Taste candy fruitiness followed by a spice and smoky finish. Pairs well with barbecue dishes, grilled meats, and hard cheeses. Okay.
Barbecue?
Oh.
So pull up to the barbecue with it.
Don't pull up to my barbecue though. And it got 13.5% alcohol, Candace. Okay, we back in your good graces. All right, y'all. Let's try this. Let's see. Ain't nothing. I'm getting on my counter now. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Little drippity drip.
We ain't got to clean up team. I got it.
All right, let's see. Cheers. Okay. It's flat.
I was going to say it's kind of missing a boldness, I guess.
Yeah, it's flat.
I'm not a fan of the aftertaste. The aftertaste has like that bitter. I feel like that's where I taste the licorice. Is like the aftertaste is kind of like. You can't. She took like 5 sips.
Because I'm really trying to understand it.
Like, what am I tasting?
Yeah, because it's really flat.
I taste chocolate. I feel like I taste dark chocolate, but I don't. It's like, you know how licorice.
Yeah, but I guess for our charcuterie, we got gouda cheese, blueberries. Y'all remember she like blueberries now. And we got toffee covered chocolate. I love me a good chocolate. I'm gonna start with my chocolate. What you gonna start with?
I'm the chocolate. What we came here for.
That part. Oh my god, that's so good.
But yeah. It got toffee in it?
That's what it said.
That's good.
Oh, this chocolate is good right here. I got it from Aldi's, y'all. Just so y'all know, go find it.
That actually goes really, really good with them blueberries. Why you was judging me?
I'm not judging.
Like, bite into it and take the blueberry. Bite into it again. Do it and then bite into it and take the blueberry.
Hold on. Okay, it's not bad. Not bad. The wine is brought to you by Aldi's. Aldi, because there ain't no S on it in the Aldi's. But other black folks, you know, we be putting S's on stuff. Oh man, I like Gouda cheese. Do you like Gouda cheese?
I do. I
like Gouda cheese
in
my
lactose,
macaroni
so I gotta
too.
and that's what I use in my mac and cheese. That's my little secret. Put it in there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, can get the people going?
You know, I wanted to talk about respectability politics in a sense of like people not being able to show their humanness. I feel like it's like you have to kind of be a robot, put a mask on, and then take it off when you get home. And to me, that in itself is a job outside of doing the work. But also, I don't know how are we teaching people, especially as therapists, right? Like when we teach people to be authentic and like be themselves and like, you know, and then at the same time, I feel like a lot of people are walking around with masks that we forget the humanness of people. And that's why we kind of show up in the way that we do, because it's like, you don't have a chance to mess up. You mess up, especially publicly. Like when we're talking about social media and stuff like that, you mess up publicly and like that's your whole career.
Yeah.
That's your whole life. And there are people in spaces that definitely deserve that. But I also feel like people, once they like have an opinion about you, they don't allow the evolution of you, or they don't allow to see the humanness of you, of like the entirety of you. How do you feel about that? Like, I don't know. I just, not being able to be yourself in certain spaces just is like a personal issue for me. It just makes the job that much harder when a space like doesn't allow you to be yourself.
It does. I'm myself all the time, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but I'm myself all the time. So like, I don't struggle with that as much, but I do see other people who struggle with it, and I hate that for them, right? Because I want to be like, just be you, because I mean, what the F they gonna do about it, you know? Granted, depending on your job environment, whatever, I guess they can like write you up or something like that. But I mean, let's be realistic about it, right? Like, are they gonna really write you up, right? It's just like, you know, when I think about code switching, you know how we got a code switch, right?
It's a lot of that.
I stopped code switching a long time ago. I'm gonna say this.
Less of it. I still do it.
I was just about to say, let me correct myself. I stopped code switching as often as I used to do a long time ago, because while corporate may want me to, when I was working for other people, while corporate may want you to show up in a certain way, right? That wasn't what my clients, because I've always been in the social work field, right? That wasn't what my clients needed. They needed realness, rawness. And let's be real, the most of the population I was working with was black. They needed blackness.
They needed someone that can.
This was my black ass job.
Your black ass job.
Okay. Y'all want to know what my black job is? That's what it was, right? And so, like, but they needed that. And so it's like, I had to learn that, you know what? It's okay to not have to code switch all the time, right? And I would take that person, my raw personality, and put it in the room with corporate or more professional, right, quote unquote, people, and test it out and see how it was received.
Right.
And I learned it was received quite well, because it wasn't like I was in there like, all this bitch, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? I was just more using my regular tone, my regular voice, like me, you know, and showed up as my authentic self. And they appreciated it. Yeah. No one said nothing smart.
Right.
You know, sometimes they even laughed a little bit now. Whether they was laughing at me or laughing how I said something, it's a different story. Exactly. But they'd be like, why do you say it like that? Or I never realized you had an accent, because they swear all black people got accents. But we do. I'm not even going to lie. We kind of do. But, you know, you got to see. You won't know unless you, like, actually be your authentic self in those different areas to see how it is received by others.
Yeah, the reason I started to stop code switching, I still do it in some spaces, like you said, is because I've had too many people tell me like, "Oh, you're really smart," or "Oh, you're really articulate," and don't realize that's an insult. Like, what did you
maybe
expect?
I've had somebody say that, and I turned around and was speaking Ebonics like a motherfucker. I was like, "Now what?"
Right, like that's where it was like, no, you need to show that you are intelligent. However, I don't need to speak in a dialect. I don't need to. Yeah. I don't know, like, and I feel like when we talk about professionalism is just basically being respectful. And if you just boil it down to be respectful to people, what does everything else really matter, right?
Right.
Like, I get dress codes in certain spaces.
Right.
Like absolutely. But like, if you know how you communicate builds a rapport with a certain clientele or population or like a certain audience, whatever. Yep. You get so judged for it if you don't speak a certain way, but it's helping. You know what I mean? Like, it's helping me relate to people because it's my people. You know what I mean? That part. These are my people. And I know that's particular to our field. Right. But I know that's not true for everybody else. But at the same time, like, how exhausting that must be to have to
yeah, but even like I've had one of my homegirls, she works in a hospital setting. She's also a social worker. But she works in a hospital setting, right? And she works with people who have been like, I think like severely injured, and like they gotta like go through this rehab and all this other stuff. It's very complex, right? And so with that space, she sometimes encounter families coming in like angry, cussing them out, talking. You know how people get. And while like one of her counterparts was like being very professional and talking like, well, this is what the family ain't trying to hear all that.
It comes off as patronizing.
And she came in and she closed that door. She said, "Now look, motherfucker."
Did she say it like that?
Maybe she ain't say motherfucker. But she said, "Now look.
Calm down.
You can't be doing that up in here." Uh-huh. And what they do, they calm down and they listen. Because she recognized their emotions are all over the place, but somebody needs to like
control the room.
Yeah, exactly. Control the room. Yes, honey. Control the room and get everybody into the right space. And she did that. And her colleague was so confused. She's like, I just talked to him.
You know what the crazy part about that is, like, I see stuff like that happen all the time in the workspace.
Yeah.
Workspace with black women, and then your coworkers or supervisor, not everybody looking at you like,
right?
Oh, you get them to do that,
right?
And you know what I mean? Like you showing up as yourself, and it's like, well, you really shouldn't have did it that way. And now it's like,
but it worked, didn't it?
I got results because I adapted. That's what you need to do.
But I think even with that, it's like you said, it goes back to our field, right? Because as social workers, because like I said, she also has a social work degree, we're taught to meet people where they are. Mm-hmm. We're taught to not get down in the gutter, but to get to that level of understanding and respond so that they can receive
the communication should
and we
be
can
at level.
Exactly. We not talking to them up here above them. You know what I'm saying? And so, like you said, it could have something to do just also with the profession that we chose in the way that we're taught to like handle and work with and deal with.
Do you think it contributes to burnout?
Oh, absolutely. Like our method of doing things. Absolutely. Because I think we also internalize some of that as well, right? Which contributes to that burnout because it's like, I get you, I can relate, or I can understand what you're going through, even though I've never been there, but I know how to empathize and sympathize with what's happening depending on the situation, right? And so when we internalize that and we just immerse ourselves into it, and it's like, baby, that's not your life, right? That's not your family. That's not your problem. Not my problem. That's just not my problem. You know that song? Exactly.
Yeah.
That's that, right?
Yeah.
And we burn out.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so heavy when it comes to self-care, you know. And, you know, we have entered into the month of October. So it's literally one of those things of like, we're entering into that season, right? Of taking care of yourself and depression and all the other stuff. So like, self-care is so important because we love what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
We love helping people.
Yeah.
But that shit get tiring.
Yeah. What this conversation made me think of that video. You might have seen it with James Baldwin, I can't remember, and don't kill me, who he was speaking with, but she was like, you go and smile in that white man's face all day, he gets the best of you, even though he talks to you any kind of way, and I come home and I get the least of you. Show it for me that's how I feel like respectability politics make people show up in their personal lives when we talk about interpersonal relationships, like, you having to do that all day and like despite how you feel show up a certain way and not be able to communicate how you feel in a certain way, you go home and like you said, you start taking it out on your family and you internalize it and it becomes that cycle becomes part of your identity at home.
Yep. And that's that right there, that statement, you smile in that person's face all day and then I get this version of you, the shitty version of you, basically. It's so true and powerful for a lot of people. Even outside of like relationships, it's whoever you're going home to. If you're going home and you live with family, they're getting that shitty version of you sometimes, right? And this is why I tell people all the time, because I had a client that was like that, and they didn't realize that's what was happening. You have to find that window to decompress from work to home, because the people at home ain't did nothing to you. You ain't seen them these last 8 hours. You mad at them people at that job, right? Not the people that you just walked in the door. So it's like finding that small window, an hour, that drive home, whatever, to like really decompress.
Sit in the car before you go in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, people laugh because, you know, that's the thing. Like, when people be like, oh, I just got in the house, I got to sit in the car for like an hour before I go in. And like, people, like, for a while, that was like a running joke on like Facebook and Instagram. Like, but no, that's actually very helpful because if they walk right into that house, you're finna get that nasty version of them because they're pissed off or whatever that just happened. Unless they like really enjoyed their job, then that's a different story, right?
Right.
But that's how you end up in that type of situation, right?
Right.
Like, decompressing is so important, so important, so important, and it helps prevent burnout.
Yeah,
you know,
because that's the reality. Not everybody is going to have the privilege of being in a field that they love.
Yeah,
and I think we gotta, you know,
acknowledge that.
Acknowledge that, like, everybody has a place in this world. There are going to be people that have jobs they don't love, and so, yeah, having that balance of like, I need to check in with myself before I go in because I know I've held on to all these emotions all damn day. But who do we fault for that? Like, is that a corporation problem? Is that a capitalism problem? That might be a larger conversation, but like, at what point do we say, okay, this isn't good for our overall mental health? You know what I mean? Forcing people to kind of cramp into spaces.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's problem.
Yeah.
From corporation on down to the individual, if I'm being honest. Because what are you doing if corporate and supervisors or whatever is not making the changes that you have voiced? What are you doing about it to remove yourself from that situation? If you can, you know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing for you to be actually trying to remove yourself from a situation and nothing has come up yet. And it's another for you to not be trying. Baby, that's a you problem at this point.
Yeah.
Because they have already shown you what it is they're going to do and who they are.
Yeah. I think the culture is changing in some organizations, but I still, in certain spaces, I think, especially as people of color, I think there's still spaces where we still struggle that we can be ourselves in those spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. Hell, even as people of color, like, we still struggle with the freedom, knowing that we have the freedom to get up and walk away and do whatever we want to do.
Hello?
If we're being honest.
Yeah.
Like, you think about people, staying on a job forever.
Oh my goodness, yes. Counting the days, pension.
Counting the days because they want pension.
It's a level of safety, and I get that.
Yeah.
But like, when you don't follow that level of safety, that people will look at you crazy. Like, oh no, what do you mean you don't?
And then when they see that your plan is working, now they're looking at you with envy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That I want to do that too, but.
And I be the one. Do it.
She do.
Let's go. Fuck are we doing here? The hell?
And there's no reason why you can't. And I love that because you need people like that. Why can't you?
Exactly. Like, what's really stopping you? Tell me. Help me.
Understand.
Help me, because I need to know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm such a giving person, like, in all aspects of my life, where it's like, I want to give you the reminder that you can do whatever the hell you want to do so you can be comfortable and be your authentic self
in your spaces,
in those different spaces, and in that next phase of your life. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be what was taught years ago and like you gotta stick there.
And I think it's a lot of fear. It's a lot of rooted in fear. It's like, stay this way so you don't mess up because you need the security. Don't mess it up for us.
Baby, the security ain't even there. Social Security is not gonna be there when y'all retire. I just want y'all to know that.
I was gonna say they are running it up right now.
Cause who's taking their money? Is it the boomers?
Retiring at 65? Cause I'm not retiring at 65. I'm not.
First of all, you gotta be working for somebody to for real retire at 65 for it to be worth it.
I'm calling it sooner. Okay.
I'm retiring at 50. Yeah, that's my goal, to retire at 50.
I was given 45, but okay.
No, I got a couple of things I want to get done, and I know I'm gonna need a little more time.
Okay. All right.
I got to be a little bit more realistic. At first, it was 45.
When it's fun, it's not work. Nah, that's when the fun.
Oh no, I'm talking about like it's some work that I need to get done.
Work.
Yeah, I need to like systems that I need to have set up in place so that when I'm ready to sit my ass down, I can sit down and I don't have to like jump back into it.
I don't think I'll sit forever.
No, I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna oversee everything. So that's what I'm saying. I need that time to just get everything in place so I don't feel like I gotta like jump back in and then damn, y'all messed up. Now I gotta jump back in and do the leg work. Hell nah. Hell nah. Done. No.
You talking about done.
Exactly. I'm going to be 50. All my businesses, mark my word, all my businesses
with an S.
It's going to be running smoothly. I'm going to have all the systems in place where I don't have to do the hard labor. Mm-hmm. By 50, I should be good. And whatever ain't accomplished by 50 ain't going to get accomplished. It's getting off the list. And that's that on that. On Mary Had a Little Lamb.
And as an entrepreneur, she can say that. She can do that. She ain't got to wait on nobody.
Because I ain't. This is me showing up in my authentic self.
I'm here for it.
Nah, but further, you gotta do what's best for you at the end of the day. Put yourself in those positions that make you happy, that make you be like, you know, I don't mind going to this job. Because nobody, if we be honest, nobody wants to work. That's just the reality of it. And then nobody wants to work for other people. Mm-hmm. But like, if you can be in the space where it's like, okay, it's not bad. It ain't like the best thing on earth, but it ain't like the worst either.
Yeah, if I make a mistake, my boss gonna understand or teach me, not scold me or judge me.
Yeah, absolutely.
An environment that you can be yourself in.
That part.
So supervisors, get it together.
Get it together. I really want to do a training with like corporate to talk to them about that, like from like a therapeutic and a social work perspective. Like, this is how you all
retain staff and the productivity you would get out of people if they were happier.
Exactly, because what y'all doing?
Burnt out, tired, people calling off. That's the culture. That's the culture.
What they say, I wish I would have said it was like an article about like traveling silently. Mm-hmm. Something like that. It was on social media. I'm not even gonna repeat it because I feel like they blasting us. So I'm gonna be quiet. You know, everybody on TikTok talking about like how they work from home, but they ain't really working from home, and then corporate, like all those jobs started like cracking down.
Yeah.
Talk too much. I'm gonna just be quiet. Y'all keep traveling. Live y'all best life. You know that Shanique will support y'all. Period.
Move that mouse a little. Make sure.
Exactly. Every 2 minutes. Okay, girl. Okay. Any other tidbits you wanna give to our listeners today?
Show up as yourselves. Be yourselves as much as you possibly can. That is going to help kind of center yourselves and be better for your mental health. Really, honestly.
Yeah.
All that pressure you put on yourself to be somebody else.
Yeah.
That pressure gonna fold eventually.
Yeah, and then you also don't have to, when you do that, you don't have to worry about like being one person in social settings versus one person in professional, and then you like get drained from like constantly flip-flopping. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So just show up as yourself in all settings as much as possible.
And professionalism is just respect, in my opinion.
That part, because what is professionalism? Like
that's a whole nother conversation.
It is. I'm gonna write it down for another episode next season. Because what is professionalism? Mm-hmm. Get the people in the building.
That's gonna get me canceled.
Oh, we don't want you to get canceled now. Cancel culture is a thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but as always, y'all know what it is. Follow us on all social media platforms at Why Me Please Podcast. And share these episodes with your mom, sister, brother, uncle, cousin, everything. Y'all know what it is. We ain't the podcast for tea, so why me, please? And don't forget, if you want our advice, send us an email to advice@whymepleasepodcast.com.